Well, anyways, so I'll show you guys this one quick example, but this is really all that I'm going to have to do. I wanted you guys to spend some time thinking about this and saying, what could I do with this problem? Not sitting there and saying, oh, I'm just not going to do anything because he's not teaching right now. But you guys have you have a sum problem and a difference problem. The only thing you've learned is two formulas, right? That's the only thing you've learned. You've learned this formula, the sine of u plus v, which is sine of u times cosine of v plus cosine of u times sine of v. And you learn this formula, sine of u minus v equals the sine of u times the cosine of v minus cosine of u times sine of v. So do you think you might be using those with here, right? Could you now say that that's going to be my u, that's my v, that's my u, that's my v? Yeah? So now just apply both of those formulas to this equation, and I'll show you what happens. So when I do that, I now have the sine of x cosine of pi over 4 plus cosine of x sine of pi over 4 minus, I'm going to put this in parentheses so I don't mistake my parentheses, because remember that negative sign is going to distribute across this whole formula. That will be the sine of x times the cosine of pi over 4 minus the cosine of x times the sine of pi over 4. So as I distribute this, this becomes negative, and that's now positive. OK? What's nice about that is you guys notice you notice that this and this, what happens to them? They cancel out. They're the same thing, right? They add up to 0. So I'm now left with cosine of x plus cosine of x sine over 4, which is 2. Cosine of x sine of pi over 4. Oh, and this equals 1, right? Now, what's the sine of pi over 4? Square root of 2 over 2. Those got out. So I'm left with the square root of 2 times the cosine of x equals 1. Now, is this something that you guys are a little bit more familiar with? I know you guys are probably like, oh, I hate solving anyways. But is this something a little bit more familiar? Yeah. So now what we can do is divide by 2. And I don't know what the answer said we had to do. Now I have to rationalize the denominator. Square root of 2, square root of 2. So I have cosine of x equals the square root of 2 over 2. And the answer was saying find the equation between 0 and 2 pi. So square root of 2 over 2, when is cosine on the unit circle equal to square root of 2 over 2 between 0 and 2 pi? In the first quadrant and in the second quadrant, yeah, it'd be outside. So it's second and the fourth quadrant, right? Cosine. Remember, cosine's dealing with the x-coordinate, so the x-coordinate has to be to the right. So yeah, it's that point, which is pi over 4. Pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. So my answer, x equals pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. And if you guys remember those people that came into us last class period, they wanted me to make sure you guys know how to represent it as a solution set. So rather than just writing x equals pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, obviously on a standardized test, you guys will get this solution more than likely as a solution set. So and again, your solution was supposed to be between 0 and 2 pi, which I didn't write down. Yes?
Did you apply the sine u plus v and sine u minus v?
Yeah, I had to do both formulas. Notice here, see how this formula is here? And originally it looked like this, right? So I did the plus formula and I did the difference formula, or the sum formula and the difference. But then what I did is I distributed the negative. So I got rid of that and I made that positive.
Why did you go through that?
Because there's both of them. You have to do sum and difference. Sum and difference. Okay? I'm done teaching. I'll walk around and answer individual questions.